Did you ever have this happen to you when you go to reach in for a crankbait and try to pull this out? Welcome to today's Tackle Talk. I'm Maria from Go Fish Ohio, and we're going to be talking about organizing not only your crankbait boxes, but your crankbaits during the off season in today's Tackle Talk. All right. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is untangle all of your crankbaits so that when you are actually working with them, you don't have to deal with a clump of 6 of them and spend the next 20 minutes untangling them. So that would be your first objective. And while you're doing this, like what I've done is I put together piles of some of the crankbaits that are going to be needing work. And let's go through a little list of the things that you can check out on your crankbait during the off season to make sure that when spring comes around, you're ready to just tie it right on your line and catch some fish with it. Now, the first thing I have a tendency to do when I'm in a hurry and just going from one crankbait to another, changing colors or depths or whatever, I tend to just cut one off and I leave the little end tail of the line attached to the split ring or snap. So if you're lazy like me, you can go through all of your crankbaits, put those aside and cut all the line pieces off. Or even while we're talking about split rings and snaps, if you find any of your crankbaits that have broken or missing split rings or snaps, it's a good time to put those on right away, so when you reach into it, you won't have to like start digging for split rings and snaps when you're trying to be fishing. The next thing I look for are crankbaits that have missing or broken hooks. It's also a good time of year to check your hook sizes to make sure they don't get stuck over the lip. There's nothing more I hate than throwing a crankbait where the hook gets stuck over the lip or in the split ring itself. You can also check for the sharpness of the hooks. And of course, the color, in some instances, like a red hook, so you can exchange and fix any of the hooks that are broken on your crankbaits. Number 3, and I see it's also on this crankbait, so this needs to be in 2 piles, is I like to use some fish attractant, fish scent, and some of this stuff, the gels and the sticks are really sticky and get your crankbait all grimy and mucked up. Going through and cleaning off all of the old fish attractant from your crankbaits is also a nice wintertime activity to do to keep you in touch with your lures. And finally, if you want to be really adventurous, we have a few lures here that the paint has chipped off or that I decided I wanted to add a little color to or something. For instance, I know I've added red magic marker around the gills here and it's kind of worn off, so I'm going to repaint or retouch or re-customize your crankbaits. Also, it's a good time to check and see if you have any that have broken lips or the color is too faded off and peeled off that you need to replace. And once again, I will remind you, it is December and Santa Claus is coming, and crankbaits are a really good size to fit in somebody's stocking. So put it on your Santa Christmas list if there are any that you need to be replaced. That's it for Tackle Talk today. We'll see you next month, and Merry Christmas.